and thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why I no longer eat bread. My name is Tumi. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I am a medical doctor, I'm a dancer, I'm a poet, and I love creating videos on this channel to support you in living your best, healthiest, most conscious, and most delicious life. If you're interested in videos around raw veganism, holistic health videos in general, minimalism, all infused with dance, and consider subscribing down below. So I got inspired to make this video because I saw a video from Melissa Lisa Raw Vegan Romance. I'll leave a link to her video down below in the description box. And she had a video titled Why I Don't Eat Potatoes, something like that. She talked about eating foods that seem normal in mainstream that didn't work for her. She also has been on the raw vegan path for quite a while. I have been raw vegan now for 10 years. And it's been, and it continues to be, an incredible journey in which I feel like I just continue to up level in thriving. So I wanted to make this video. The first thing I want to say is that if you eat bread on the regular and you feel amazing on it and you feel like it nourishes you, that's amazing and that's wonderful. This video is probably not for you. It might be for you though, because it's really not about the bread, so stay tuned. But what I'm talking about in this video, what I'm wanting to share in this video is for anyone who feels like the way they eat or something they're eating keeps them in a loop of poor health, and that could be physical, mental, or emotional, keeps them in a loop of making poor choices and just not feeling that they're living their best life. If you feel that way, this video is definitely for you. And I was there. If you've read my book, Delicious Healing, I will leave a link to that book in the description box down below. Chapter 1, I share about something that feels really raw even now to talk about, which is about my binge food addiction, my binging disorder. And bread was probably the mainstay of that food choice. And it's more than the bread, it's more than the food, but sometimes we use something in life to numb and to not feel and to escape some of the things that feel challenging in life. And I was definitely doing that. And bread was it for me. And I talk in chapter 1 in great detail about how that was for me. And the whole book, if you're not familiar with it, is about me healing from a lot of things, including my eating disorder, to create a life that is truly delicious and amazing right now. I was there. I felt trapped by the food choices I was making. I felt trapped by what felt like a food addiction. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I remember always hearing back in those days, and even in the diet literature and the nutrition literature, everything in moderation, everything in moderation. I want to tell you right now, as a physician, as someone who is healed from an eating disorder, as someone who's living her best life and eating in a way that feels so good and does my body good. I've put up a video on my blood test results around this. As someone who's thriving eating the way I do and who feels free from worrying about food and contemplating about food, I want to share with you that I think this everything in moderation thing is nonsense, really. And I think it doesn't work for many people. Maybe it works for you. Again, take what I say that resonates, dump the rest. But please don't buy into the everything in moderation paradigm if it doesn't feel true, and if you tried and it doesn't work for you. It never worked for me. And I think, and I'll talk to you now from a science point of view and from a physician point of view, the reason it didn't work for me with regards to bread was that for me, bread was extremely addictive. It was hard to eat that in moderation. And one of the reasons for that is that bread is a highly processed food, and wheat is extremely hybridized. Gluten, which is found in wheat and in other compounds or other grains such as barley and rye, if you're eating these breads and you don't feel good on them, part of the reason might be gluten intolerance. A lot of cooked foods will get rid of the nutrients in that food. And so the food is actually pretty nutrient depleted and it leaves you craving more. And so I would eat loaves of bread and I would feel numbed out for sure. There are also, for you to know, there are also morphine-like compounds in many of these breads. And so I would definitely feel numbed out. I'd feel just checked out. And so I would be happy because I wasn't feeling that challenging emotion. But within an hour, within 2 hours, I was hungry again. And part of that was I wasn't getting the nutrients I needed from that bread. And I would want more of the bread and more of the bread. I look back at that young woman who was struggling so much with so much compassion. And part of the reason I'm making this video that feels pretty raw is to reach out to any of you who feel like you again are in that loop of addiction with any food or with any eating pattern. So maybe it's not a food, but maybe it's a way of eating that you know doesn't serve you. In my membership program, which is called Your Delicious Life, this month is all about food freedom. How can we feel more free in our lives through the choices we make with food and how we eat? And so I want to invite you today to know that you don't have to stay in this loop of self-sabotage and feeling bad in your body and in your spirit and in your life. You can change. Once I let go of this idea of everything in moderation, and I realized the science behind some of the reasons why bread was not working for me, I let go of the everything in moderation paradigm. I took bread off the table, literally off the table for me. Bread is no longer a food I eat, and it hasn't been for about 10 years now. And I want to tell you, it feels amazing. I can walk now past boulangeries like I do when I go to Paris or other places around the world. And I love the smell still of freshly baked bread, but it's just a scent to me. It doesn't trigger this, oh, I want to eat that, because I know that eating that just was punishment for me. It led me down a road that felt horrible for me. And I now feel free. I feel free in my life to live. I feel free in my life to create. I feel free to think and dream and imagine. When I was eating bread and addicted to it, I just felt so much mental fog. Not to mention, I just felt bloated and uncomfortable and 20 to 30 pounds heavier than I wanted to be. I feel free. And if you are feeling trapped, I want you to know that you can feel free and you can create a food plan for yourself that feels really freeing. So for me, everything in moderation didn't work. What has worked for me is to create a food plan, a food basket, I like to call it, with my patients and clients, where I have in there what is food for me. And what is food for me, and this is for me, it's a personal decision, is living food, is living plant food. It's food, it's fruit and vegetables. It's sprouts and sea vegetables. It's nuts and seeds and in moderation, that in moderation. But there's certain things that do not belong in my food basket. Bread and cooked foods, for me, doesn't belong in my food basket. But create your own food basket. Release this idea of what the gurus are saying, what anybody else is saying, and know what works for you. Explore what works for you. Be honest about what doesn't work for you. And use your inner wisdom that will become stronger as you eat a healthy diet. It will become stronger and you'll know what better works for you. So I wanted to share that. I also wanted to ask you to please share with me one way in which you might be feeling trapped around food choices or the way you eat. Let me know in the comments down below. Also share with me maybe something that you practice that helps you feel more free in your life. If you're interested in feeling more free in your life, in making better choices for yourself, food-wise and life-wise in general, then consider two things. Consider, if you haven't checked out my book, Delicious Healing, please check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. And also consider being part of our beautiful membership community called Your Delicious Life. Again, this month is all about food freedom, and I'm talking about with the members ways that I practice food freedom. I'm able to go deeper in ways I don't feel comfortable doing on YouTube. There's a Q&A at the end of every month in which I answer the members' questions. That happens every month on our membership program. I share personal vlogs. I share healing meditations. I share healing dances. So check out that lovely community. I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below. But I think I just want to create this video and share this video just to share that you are not alone if you feel like you are suffering around food choices, food addictions, feeling trapped around that. Know that there is definitely a way out, that you can live a life that feels free. I send you so much love wherever in the world you might be. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, please, and spread this knowledge, spread this inspiration, hopefully, of freedom in one's life, in one's body. I send you love. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.